What if I told you there's a Football Manager Wonderkid with amazing potential, great starting ability, who's very, very overpowered in-game because of the attributes that he does have, and on top of that, he's only going to cost you £200,000 to £300,000. Almost sounds too good to be true. I promise you, it isn't. That's right, we've got a real gem for you in today's Wonderkid to Superstar episode, someone that I think you're really going to love. But stick with us in the video because, as always, we're not just showing you how good he gets, but we'll show you exactly what you can do to his training to get him to the point that you'll see later in this video, which is an insane level player. Before we start, don't forget to smash the like button for us, whether you enjoy the content or you just want to be nice and give us that YouTube algorithm boost. It really does help us out, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. With that being said, let's go check out this player. You'll see we're with Real Madrid here in Spain, but actually we're heading over to a completely different continent to find this guy. And we're heading all the way to Adelaide United FC out in Australia, which is a very far leap from where we normally find our Wonderkids. You might already have an idea of who this player might be because he has been in the footballing news recently. So if we go to players and then senior squad, we will find him, the 17-year-old Nestoroy Irankunda. The reason Irankunda has been in the news is for two reasons. One, he's one of the most promising Australian talents around, and when playing for Adelaide United, when he has came on, he has done wonders for them. After this video is done, go and search up some of his best goals, and I promise you, you won't regret it, because the way that this guy hits the ball is insane, the amount of power he gets behind it. But two, the reason that he's been in the news more is that I believe he has agreed a move, or at least is going to agree a move, to join Bayern Munich very soon, which means that after the January transfer update that Football Manager provides, usually in that February-March period, Irankunda will no longer be signable. So this is your last real chance to use this guy before he becomes a Bayern Munich youngster, but he is great for a number of reasons. One, his price point. He's going to cost you only a few £100,000. Here, as we do for every Wonderkid to Superstar, we have set him to his maximum potential, which is 170. He has a potential range of 140 to 170, so even when he's this crazy good Wonderkid, the most you're looking to pay for him is 1.3 million, but realistically, even here with this valuation, 400, 500k would easily get you over the line for a very talented 17-year-old. He's got the attributes that make him very strong in the in-game engine, with that 16 acceleration, 17 agility, and 15 pace. He's a right footer with great flair, good finishing ability, and he's also good on a set piece, can head a football as well, and has those long shots as he does in real life. He can play on the right, up front, or on the left, good crossing ability as well, and very nice technique. Now, he does lack in the first touch, the dribbling, and also the passing departments, but he's obviously very young. He's got a lot of time to mould that into his game, so now we're going to show you exactly what we do to turn him into a top-class player by bringing him over to our Real Madrid team. So, Irankunda is now a Real Madrid player. We've used the editor to bring him over here, and we are using him in this inside forward role on the attack duty, and I'll talk a little bit about why we've done that later on. But for now, as you can see, he's a Real Madrid player, and that potential ability is not reflective of how good he is going to be in this simulation. If you don't already know, star ratings are not to be trusted in FM. They can fluctuate for a bunch of reasons, and within only a few months into this save, these star ratings had completely changed, so don't be fooled by those. We've got him being mentored by the likes of Modric and Nacho Fernandez, as well as Dani Carvajal, I believe. These good personalities that will hopefully rub off onto Irankunda, who is already, apparently in this save, a fairly ambitious player with 11 determination, but that might be adjustable for you guys. Sometimes with these attributes, they can be varied, particularly for young players like Irankunda, so just bear that in mind. Moving on to his training though, you can see that we can play him in 3 different roles, and the attributes that I would pick to focus on in his training will depend on what role you want to use him in. If you're using him as a striker, I would suggest his dribbling might need some work, particularly if you're using him as an advanced forward. But if you're trying to make the choice on which wing to use him on, I think really the left-hand side is going to be best for him. So we're going to focus in on that side. The reason that I say that is because he's got 12 crossing and 12 finishing, and he's strong on his right foot. So I feel like you'd want him to cut in and score some goals, or at least cut in and create an assist, which the left side is perfect for. You could argue you could play him as a winger on the right hand side, but the fact that he's got good finishing, nice long shots and heading ability, I want him getting into the box and scoring some goals, not being stuck on the flank playing balls in. So I'm going to go for that inside forward on the attack duty. Then we get on to the additional focus. Now this is where I'm going to vary slightly from what I normally say. I'll normally say for a player in the attacking third, final third is great, but his composure is already at the level of 14. 14. So there's something else that I would suggest. Now, his dribbling and first touch really aren't great here, and I'd want to get that up. Maybe his passing. So passing is a potential option, or ball control if you want to work on that first touch and dribbling. I think that will take him to another level in your saves, but for us, we're going to keep it fair as we do with every player. No additional focus has been chosen, so we'll see what he develops like in a natural state. So now we're going to simulate ahead and see how he looks on the worst end of that potential range. Before we see that though, remember to comment down below who you want to see next in Wonderkid to Superstar. We take your suggestions on board when we're picking the player for the next video, and do let me know if you've had any success with Irankunda in the past. With that being said, here he is though at the age of 20 after a few years of development, and he's currently not actually at that lowest end of a potential range, so even in the worst case scenario, you will get a better player than what we're seeing here if he develops in your save. Right now, he's about 130 current ability. Remember, his lowest potential would possibly be 140 or 141. So this is actually not even the worst case scenario for Irankunda, and our 400k man is now worth 50 million, and he really has developed to a player that could definitely contribute for even the biggest sides in world football. Irrespective of his star rating, this man has 17 acceleration, 17 agility, 16 balance and 16 pace. If you know anything about FM this year, you will know that those kind of players are going to tear up the in-game engine. He's got that flair, his determination has gone to a 50, which is great to see, and his mental attributes are a lot better rounded than they originally were. He's got 14 long shots, 13 heading, 13 finishing. You can see his dribbling has gone up a lot now to a level of 11. He's got good crossing as well, and he really is a supreme talent. If we look at him as that inside forward on the attack duty, he's definitely developing in that area, becoming a top player. And you'll also see in this save, he's given up representing Australia. He's now representing Tanzania and has scored 6 goals in 16 games for them. In Season 1, he got off to a slow start. Season 2, he began to kick on, getting 14 goal contributions in 20 matches before he got injured. And then this year, he's hit 18 goal contributions. Now, those numbers aren't amazing, but they're not terrible either. But remember, this guy costs a few £100,000, and this isn't even him at his worst. So now, let's see him at the peak of his powers to see just how good Irankunda can become. Before we see Irankunda at his peak though, just to let you guys know, I do have my own channel linked in the description down below. More Football Manager content, from YouTube shorts about Wonderkids you might not have heard of to Football Manager rebuilds. I'd really appreciate anyone that comes over and checks out the channel, or if you just want to go over and subscribe to help us get to our 30k target, which seems to be very close. I'd be massively appreciative. But let's see Irankunda now. And what a player he now is, valued at £100 million with 27 goals in 76 games for Tanzania, who I assume aren't going to be the most talented international team, and he's doing very well for them. He's on 350 grand a week, considered one of the best players at the club, with 18 acceleration, 20 agility, 18 balance and 16 pace. The off-the-ball work is great, as is the flair, the concentration, the anticipation and the composure. He's got good work rate and positioning. He's got good passing technique. He's worked on his dribbling clearly. He's now a much better player there, as he is in his first touch. He's got great finishing ability. He can cross. This man is the all-round talent. You could play him on the wing or up front, but if we have a look at him in that inside forward on the attack duty, there won't be many better with those kind of attributes. And of course, like I say, in-game, he is the perfect player, and he has proved that over the last few years, getting amazing average match rate in 7.54 in one season, 7.41 the year after, getting consistently high assists, whether that's 19, 18, or in one season, 27, scoring goals from across the park and making himself a Real Madrid legend in the process. But of course, this is only him at the age of 28, so let's see him by the end of his career. And here he is at the age of 35, about ready to retire. He's been tearing it up across the years for Real Madrid, becoming an icon, and then he went to Al Ahly out in Saudi Arabia for 2 last seasons. Irankunda did never win the Ballon d'Or, but he was in contention for a few of those seasons. But what can you say about a player that's only going to cost you 300, 400 grand that goes on to be a £100 million player and one of the best wingers football has ever seen? I really do think he is a top draw talent, worth checking out in your save. Bayern Munich look to have got a gem with this signing, and if you do nothing else today after this video, make sure you go ahead and have a look at some of his goals that he has scored for Adelaide so far. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.